with B-Bad and Brandon.
Smart than that,
Before we dive right in, like I don't want to take the ownership away from yourself, you handsome fella, but it needs to be addressed. Fortitude Barbell in the top 10 gyms of Brisbane.
Oh yeah!
How fucking unreal!
Number 9.
That's unreal.
That's so cool.
So stoked.
That is absolutely unreal. The thing through the Courier Mail, I got sent it to me yesterday. Like, how good is this? And I just immediately said, "Did you even know?"
Kind of knew, yeah.
That's unreal.
Rhys took one of the photos for us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't looked if there's an article yet, though. But
I haven't really, because usually when you go through like the Courier Mail, like you got to pay. Yeah. And I'm like, oh no.
We were stoked because some of the boxes that we call them boxes or gyms that we're up against, they were
45s.
Big membership gyms.
Yeah.
So they've got a big audience to vote.
Mm.
And in comparison, I don't think we have that.
But I think it was brilliant from two aspects. One, obviously, because I fucking know you. That's an incredible achievement for yourself and Fortune Barbell. And obviously, Coogan, what you guys have built. Testament to what we were saying before about the community and what he's really good at. Yeah. But also, you're doing it for straight gyms everywhere. Yeah, we are. Powerlifting. Yeah, because everything else was bloody... Like F45 group fitness. Globo group fitness. Yeah. How good? Yeah, come on. That's one for the barbells. That's one for us. That wasn't just a vote for Fortitude. That was a vote for the barbell. Yeah, you're doing it for all of us. That was a vote for powerlifting, yeah. Did it feel pretty good saying that? Yeah, it was sick. It was cool. Like, we were mind blown. Like, that's unreal. At first, I didn't even... Because you had to tag and comment on the thread to then get nominated to go in it. And that all happened without us even realising. Because kind of like Jay Lee runs the Instagram and I jump in and now and then. So she'd already been on for the day and hadn't seen the tags yet. And then all of a sudden she opens up Instagram the next day and then there's a message from Courier Mail that said, hey, you've made top 10, blah, blah, blah. Here's how you maintain it. And you've made the list to vote. And then this is what you got to do. Yeah, that's unreal. So we just put it out. Like, we didn't go hard on it. I'm sure some places did. We just put it into the groups, private groups, and just said, if you guys have got a thing, give it a 100%. Give it a. That's unreal. That's awesome. I just want to also point out that you can always tell when you've been on the social medias. There's always a spelling mistake. Yeah, it's part of the adventure. It is. You always. I love it. What are we working at today? What are we trying to understand yet? But again, incredible achievement to yourself, dude. Coogan. No doubt. The Fortune Barbell coach. I'm sure the Courier Mail is sending us our novelty check of millions of dollars for getting that. But that's unreal. Absolutely. Because the amount of gyms in Brisbane is fucked. So congratulations, brother. Many thank yous. I had to bring that up. Obviously, you train at the lovely Fortitude. Yeah. That's all part of it. Fortitude. But as we did say... Who is it? Well, that's the first question. Yeah, that's the first question. Are you ready for the first question? Yeah, what's the first question? We have one question, and that question is very simple, and it's supported by our good friend Brando, and that is, you have the opportunity using only 21 words and sounds, which he counts. Oh, that's where I come from. That's how you support it. That's how you support it. To tell us who you are and what you do. I was like, am I the phone the friend option? Because I don't know, bro. And it's very official. Right, okay, so... Are you ready for the counting? I am. I think I'm ready. I'm just going to go. You can have 10 seconds. Sweet. So my name is Rhys. Oh, yeah. I'm a full-service male escort or provider based in Australia. And I train quite regularly at Fortitude Barbell. The barbells. Yeah. You were at 20, and then you just added a little bit of... You were at 20. You were so close to nailing that. I was at 22. You get 22? I have 22. Because I had you at 20, and then you said a couple other things. I think I can't made some sounds. 22, though. I too many reps. I thought you were going to talk about, baby, that's your age. You know, when I first met Johnny, I thought he was so much younger. Really? Yeah. I blew someone's mind the other day as well. Because you're 42 next year. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't think that. Glory's the barbells. I thought he was closer to a lot closer to my age. So I'm 30. But when I met Johnny, 20. Well, younger, 23. How old do you think I am? You're only. I thought you were about 28. Yeah, right. Okay. How old are you? 31. I turned 31 last week. Yeah, your birthday last week. Happy birthday. Thank you. Happy birthday. So what day last week? Sunday last week. That's a week and a half from when this came out. That's okay. Super cool. So, man, we've got to ask, full service male escort, where does that start? Yeah. You don't jump on a job ad and say, no. Or do you? You don't just wake up and be like, I'm going to do this. Yeah. Okay, so where did it all start?
I was at uni.
Yeah.
I did my Bachelor in Health Science and then went into my Master's degree. So
Masters in Health Science.
yeah. Specialised basically in chiropractic, but
Wow. Okay.
yeah. Long history in that industry. But when I went into my Master's, I kind of needed more money because it's very demanding.
So what, 5 years?
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry.
5 years total. Then I don't remember what happened because like it was all such a rush. I was like, over the summer of the uni break, I had a breakup with a long-term partner and gained like 5 kilos of muscle over the summer. And stayed really lean. I was weighing like 70 kilos at the time, so it wasn't hard.
Yeah.
It was just commitment.
Love that post-breakup game.
Mate, I was just about to say. Just to say, you get so jacked and so strong, nothing fuels gains. You know what? Argument can be made, steroids are better. I'd probably say heart rate.
Together.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of people do both together, and I do not condone that.
It's
but
forbidden pre-workout.
Exactly.
So when I went back to uni, someone convinced me to do topless weightring. So I did that on weekends while I was at uni. And then I met some of the boys that were stripping at some of the events. And like a year later, I was like, well, if it's more money for less time, I may as well do stripping.
More money, less time. That's nice. Exactly. I like that model.
Me too.
Fucking model of the dream, isn't it?
So then I did stripping for a bit. It's very seasonal because of where we are. It's like either like.
So there's a season for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A wedding season.
Wedding season. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
She's the ultimate wedding crasher. All I'm thinking is like you and Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn in the fucking trenches.
Hens parties.
Yeah, there's the hens parties, not the actual weddings themselves. But
hens parties.
Still,
Same but different.
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
Then after a year of that, I went into escorting because the consistency wasn't there for stripping.
Yep.
So I was working, also bartending as well, and it took about a year of part-time escorting until that kind of took off.
Yep.
And then from there, it just really took off, and I went full-time just escorting now.
Wow, that's unreal.
How do you promote that sort of thing? Like, obviously, as a business, like from a business perspective, Johnny and I can put up a social media ad, or we can go around the business and be like, hey, do you need our coaching services? Like, I don't really see many male escorts walk into a cafe and go, hey, who needs my services?
Yeah, that's illegal.
It's a rule.
Yeah, public solicitation is illegal.
Yeah.
Basically, advertising for me is directories, so online directories.
Yeah, right.
There's a couple main ones in Australia.
Yep.
But as a straight man, it's like the marketing is extremely different to women. The comparisons like really different. So for me, a lot of my marketing actually comes from social media. Not so much pitching the job, but pitching the fantasy of myself as a character.
Of course.
So within the community guidelines, of course, and like Instagram and everything, because there's too much chaos on social media in general, but
way to put it.
But yeah, trying to direct the right audience down the right channels to then talk about bookings and so on and so forth. But I think I'm the busiest I've ever been now, officially, in like the last month. Like my month, this looks crazy.
Insane.
This week has been insane. Alone. I've got a lot on even today.
Today's a busy day.
I feel more privileged that you made time for us, to be honest.
We really appreciate that.
We did not book your services.
And is that just through that growth, just through general growth of hard work, and then you get that snowball effect?
Yes. Yeah.
It's interesting just like how much, you say about building the fantasy, building the character. Is it odd doing what you're doing? Like, do you feel authentically you in the situation, or is it?
Funnily enough, I feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, right.
Like now, especially because I know what I'm providing confidently, and I'm not kind of second guessing boundaries and what their expectations are, because I can just ask them that, and I bring that up consistently with them before. Like when they first message me, it's like, "What are your expectations?" Then when I meet them, I have to ask them again, just in case they change, because people get really nervous when they meet you for the first time. Women are very some of them are very nervous to the point where they don't feel comfortable to even talk. And a 6 foot, nearly 100 kilo man next to this woman is very intimidating. And
Also,
the-
man, those eyes, fuck me. I get it.
Yeah,
They are.
the blue eyes,
Yeah,
they get me in so much
that's the
trouble.
money maker.
Literally.
Yeah.
If I had that and that smile winking at me, I'm like, oh, here's my boy.
Well, that's really sweet. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. It's actually best advertising. You just post this up.
Yeah,
Yeah, done. But the biggest thing is actually just communicating with women and giving them a space.
Yep.
Like, because that's all they really want is just a space to be comfortable.
Mm.
And then if intimacy kind of progresses from there,
Yep.
then that's even better.
Yep.
You know?
I guess like the stigma that comes with being like male escort, not what I just said, but a male escort would be that you're just there for sex. But that's not what you do, is it?
It's like, yeah, you're right. It is like the main thing of like what people think of when it comes to escorting, but I don't see it like that. To me, it's just about allowing people to want to explore like intimacy. It doesn't have to be sex at all. It could just be cuddling. It could just be watching a movie. It could just be someone to talk to, or vent, or digest things like.
I like the like trauma.
Yeah, like trauma.
Yeah, wow. Because I like what you said, like just giving people or women a space to feel comfortable, which I can imagine like would be very tough for obviously things are changing in today's society, but like previously it would have been really tough.
Yeah, it was to start with.
Yeah,
for sure. It took me like a good 2 years, but that 2 years was like the foundation for.
It's like any business, though, isn't it? That's the thing, and it doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah, your customers have to trust you, and I think that 2 year period kind of allowed them to watch you come out as a character, or come out as yourself, and show them what you do. And that was the biggest selling point for sure. And then just recently, just started doing TikTok, and that
TikTok's going good, right?
Yeah. Oh my god, it's been insane. And just talking, like not even.
So that's what you put up.
Yeah.
Just conversations and chats.
Yeah, just responding to comments.
Yeah.
And it went from like 0 to 20,000 followers in a week. And and everything's just gone like AWOL since then.
Damn.
Gotta go to the US, gotta go to the UK, gotta go to Europe, like.
All for work?
Yeah.
Like, what capacity are you going there to do escorting, or like what's?
Yeah, like kind of going there to meet people, but there are legalities around.
Of course.
Yeah, services.
Yeah,
but,
that's insane.
Yeah, I had to make a whole spreadsheet because there's just too much coming through. So like,
damn.
Well, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it is. Rhys got the world.
For the comic book?
Yeah, just to watch.
Just to watch.
Yeah, just to watch.
Are you there for other reasons? Is it the same? Yeah, maybe.
Meet some people near the comp.
Yeah, I mean, it has to pay for itself somehow.
Yeah,
it's a business trip.
Exactly. So, yeah,
everything's a tax deduction.
Yeah,
that's insane. Did you get much pushback, like from either family, friends, or like when you started this?
Surprisingly not. I'm very I'm an introvert, so I'm a very like solo based person. My friend group was always quite small.
Yeah.
And so because I started facing, which means like you don't show your face on anything. But then when I came face out, I then called my mum and told my siblings and everything. I think my brother already knew because he's a rat bag. But mum was great. Like my family's very supportive of what I do. I always explained why I do it, being safe about it.
Yeah.
I think soon after I told her, I told my grandmother and the oldies. I call them the oldies because there's like a gang of them that like I always catch up with. They're super supportive.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
Were you nervous telling those guys?
Like
telling the grandparents and stuff like that? Or?
I was a little bit. Like my family aren't. Their image is very conservative.
Yep.
But they're very open-minded.
Yeah, cool.
And they just love unconditionally. I think that's the beautiful side of it. So
that's
100%. Sounds so much unconditional support there.
Yeah,
really. I don't even think twice. Yeah, that's amazing. Because I think a lot of people, again, that stigma attached to it, they would have just gone, "Fuck, we didn't send you to fucking 5 years of uni." Also, man, we're going to talk about chiropractic to male escort. Like both service industries, don't get me wrong, but they're worlds apart.
They are. They're very well, like very, very different.
Do you did you finish your masters?
No. I dropped out of my masters because like I couldn't really afford the time, and then all the time that I had to be at Sydney or Melbourne. Like I had to tour because most of my money is in those major cities. So I wouldn't have time to do the tours and study.
So you were born and bred here, really?
Grew up Gold Coast.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that'd be a huge part of your job. Is moving around the country.
That's why we're going to Adelaide next week. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Come the Nationals, baby.
Nationals next week.
Yeah.
God, that's come quick.
Yeah. So cool. Do you enjoy the travel component?
Sometimes, like I used to hate it because
Yeah.
I just miss being at home.
Yeah.
Because I'm such a homebody. But nowadays, it's a good excuse to just kind of get out of the house.
Yeah.
And,
lean into it, enjoy it.
yeah, and it was a great way to kind of drag Mayhem down there as well, because I don't think she would have gone if I wasn't like pushing her and purchase flights and accommodation stuff.
And just made it happen for her.
Yeah, I was like, I'll work and you can go do your thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Is it like you said you're an introvert? Has it been really tough coming out of that, I guess, introverted shell to do the job that you do?
Funnily enough, not really.
Is that because you get to embrace this, I guess, other side, this other character?
Yeah, to a degree, absolutely. There's I have a lot more confidence one-on-one with people, but also that year of stripping was very intense. Like for me to kind of entertain a whole party, like tortoise waitering and stripping, it's like 10 women.
That'd be wild.
And yeah, it's just overwhelming for me. So
yeah. And those, and some of those parties, those girls would, like that term, were getting quite loose. I imagine.
Yeah, the ones you got to watch out for are more the older generation. They just don't care anymore.
They don't give a shit.
Yeah. The younger generation are actually really conservative. They just like drinks and food.
Yeah, very good.
And tidy up. That's all you have to do.
Yep.
Whereas the olders are like, play games with us and do all these weird things. So,
What's the weirdest thing? Straight up. Had to ask you.
Oh, the weirdest thing at a hen's party. This is many years ago, by the way, so this is going to be a bit rough.
Bro, you're only like, we just found out you're 28. You're young. You're fine.
31.
No, I believe you're 28.
I don't know about weird. I feel like I have more weird escorting stories than I do.
But we'll get to that.
Hens party stories. Just weirdest hens party. Probably when I rocked up to a hens party and saw some people that I used to go to high school with.
Oh,
yeah. That was interesting.
Yeah,
that was not what I was prepared for.
Did they look at you and be like, yeah, this is great?
Finally.
They're just literally going, I have waited fucking 10 years for this. Like, imagine you're a good looking Rhys in high school.
I don't really know. I kind of stuck to myself a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a sporty kid, but I didn't drink. So I don't drink. I don't do recreational drugs as such. But none of that in high school. I just played soccer and played video games. High school was very standard for me. But
what was their reaction when they saw you?
Yeah, fuck, that would have been great.
I think they were shocked.
Yeah,
they were more shocked than I was.
Shocked and stoked.
Because I was already prepared to walk into some chaos, like some sort of chaos scenario. I didn't expect to see someone familiar and be like, oh. Howdy. How have you been?
Since high school.
Yeah, exactly. It was this it was a gorgeous penthouse in the Gold Coast as well, so it was like a really fancy kind of place. Yeah. They love to spend on their hens parties.
Yeah, I was gonna say, part of the hens party, like tribe, if you're doing like private at place stuff, you would have seen some pretty nice places.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The best place I've seen, this isn't a hens party, this is an escort one, but was a penthouse in Emporium. You know where the pool is on the roof? Yeah. So there is actually a whole like
in South Bank.
South Bank. Yeah. There's a whole like separate apartment next to the pool that no one really books, and I was told it was built for the owners. Yeah. But they were renting it during COVID because of everything. Yeah. And I had clients that were staying there for like a week, and they paid for me to get my own room for the weekend and then see them each night and spend like dinner and everything. But it was magnificent, like separate pool, like eight rooms, 2 lounge rooms. Yeah, it was amazing.
Geez, they must have been minted.
Yeah. They're amazing clients, and they pretty much got me through COVID.
Did you get busier in COVID? Or like it was kind of a catch? Because I feel like people would have been, I guess, for lack of a better word, more lonely. Like there's like away from human connection.
Mm-hmm. The money just changed. So during COVID, you could kind of tell that everything was going to be online. So I switched to content, and then I just had those clients through COVID that I'd see, every couple of months. And the whole weekend is anything from like 10 to 15 grand. So I could live off that pretty easily. across.
Johnny, we're the wrong. I know we don't look like this guy. Seriously. 10 to 15 in 1 weekend.
Yeah, that's a nice weekend.
Yeah, and it's nice.
Now, all my fiance about I'm changing industries.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you come up with a pricing structure for something like that? Or is there, I guess you could even fall back on, is there like mentors or people that you've leaned on and talked to over the years for advice, or you kind of just made it your own story?
It's almost like any business where you have that market research.
Yeah, predominantly the market research.
Yeah.
Because
that's crazy, hey?
Yeah, when I first started, there was only like 6 people, like 6 guys in it. Now there's like 50 to 60 guys.
Australia-wide?
Yeah, Australia-wide.
Oh, so sorry, 6 just Australia-wide?
Pretty much. Like,
wow.
Only 6 that I could count were actually like look legitimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Jeez, that's a nice little marketplace for you to play in then. There's only 5 other competitors. Yeah. 6 competitors.
And I don't think half of them knew how to like run a business properly.
Yeah.
You know, like they were just doing it on the side as well as like
making a little bit of
training work.
Yeah.
Other stuff. So I wanted to go full time. I wanted to take it to the next level, see where it would go.
Yeah.
And just kind of kept running with that.
Yeah.
So it's clearly something you enjoy doing.
Yes.
And I'm assuming you, like, going back to when you were in high school, playing video games, it's not something that you probably were aware of you'd end up in.
No, not at all.
What drives you to keep doing it?
The lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, as Johnny knows, I'm pretty much free whenever I want to be, but also,
training partner.
Except
sometimes when he's away.
Not bloody work. I gotta pay for the month. The lifestyle basically keeps me in there. Like it's very hard work. I'm not gonna say that it's all easy and it's all just sex all the time. There's a lot of like emotional investment that you have to put into people, and a lot of like emotions that you have to take from people. So I just love my free time, and I love being able to digest all of that in my own time, which is kind of where the gym comes in to kind of reflect back into my personal life. And that way I can just go away, be this character or be this person for however long I need to, and then come back and just not forget it all, but just kind of digest it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like I have to take as much time off as I do working, basically.
Yeah, so it's like a 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
Like if you work for a month, you take a month off.
Yeah.
It's like not in that time. Yeah. Wow.
Pretty much.
Because you would hear a lot as well. Like trauma-based.
Oh, yeah. There was a period where, there was a period of like a couple of months where a lot of my clients were like sexual assault survivors or DV survivors.
Oh, wow.
So it's really heartbreaking to kind of see how broken these people are, and then you want to try and build them back up and rebuild their confidence.
Yeah.
And not just in themselves, but also in trusting men. I think that's a huge concept.
Yeah.
Because they could have gone through that at such a young age that it's developed into this trauma response when it comes to anything intimate based.
Yeah.
So they have a touch aversion where they don't like being touched at all. So you've got to try and introduce through a lot of communication, how to build on those sensations and how to identify, what are the triggers, and if you're triggered, what to then do about it. Like aftercare and stuff like that. There's a whole process that, like, I guess I've kind of put in my head to just help educate people, but I don't really know of anyone else doing that either. Like, this is all experience from my degree, or
of course,
from the clinical experience that I've had growing up. Like, it's just how I've kind of taken the model of chiropractic or the doctors in my family and just taking it to escorting, which is kind of fucked up, but also
it's all service-based industry, isn't it?
Exactly.
Like at the end of the day, people are still people. Like people coming with all sorts of traumas, headaches, things. Exactly. Not like actual headaches, I mean, like, but as a chiropractor, they do get headaches.
They do. Yeah.
Also, I know a little bit of this off topic, but I was listening to you tell a story. A bit of a flex on through the arm. You were jacked.
Thank you.
Right.
That's 10 kilos in the last year since being at Fortitude. That's
Fortitude puts muscle on.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is they just convinced me to eat a lot.
Who does that?
Yeah.
He doesn't.
You're just like, the world wants more of you, so eat more.
When you said that so perfectly, because it's like, the more of you, the better.
Yeah.
That's the classic Johnny.
Yeah.
Has he given you the frozen pizzas from Woolies yet?
Yeah, he told me about them, but
You didn't go?
I didn't go on.
Shout out to our bloke who, so Jason used to do the videography work for us on the body.
Yeah.
And Johnny, like, he needed to put away for powerlifting. He was like, just.
He was poor, so it was perfect.
Yeah, and he was like, because he's a uni student, he's
Yeah.
like, just go to Woolies, get these pizzas.
Cost you a couple bucks.
He ate them. Always says, like, bro, I feel like shit. I'm like, yeah, you're eating like the worst quality pizza. But are you bigger?
Yeah,
Bigger is better.
Yeah, can't complain.
Do you have a target or like a target market, like a specific person that you're like trying to, who you enjoy as your customer? I guess is the best way to do it, or you found, like, I mean, Brando would probably say the same even for us in our coaching. Whoever the hell we thought we were going to be looking after has definitely freaking changed as well as a part of that process.
Yeah, there's definitely periods where I'll have like certain types, and it must be seasonal or something. I don't know what it is, because it'll be like I said, DV and SA survivors, and then there'll be like a season of hot wipes, so hot wiping and cucking, or because I see couples as well, so it's like, or it'll be another group of. This is going to sound weird, but lately I've been having a lot of inquiries for virginity. Because so my main TikTok that blew up was was talking about how one of my clients was a virgin. She was over 40, and it's a very intimidating process. So one of my things that I said was like, I talk a lot about expectations and boundaries, but when it comes to virginity, they don't know any of those things.
No.
They don't know what they like or they don't like. So we got to start from square one and just gradually and continually, with consent, just build that.
The relationship, trust.
Yeah, exactly. The trust, the communication,
the
whole experience, basically. So that TikTok blew up, and then all of a sudden I've got people messaging me about that.
Yeah.
And
for any age, the concept of losing your virginity is confronting. Let alone imagine that being a multiplier as you're aging.
Yeah, and they're like, I find that they're often in turmoil of like, one hand they want the fantasy to be perfect.
Yeah.
And it's like the
that's
best.
Why they got Rhys.
And on the other hand, they just want to get
talk about his blue eyes again.
So yeah, they're in two minds. So one wants a fantasy, the other one just wants to get it over and done with.
Yep.
And they kind of clash, and so you just got to accommodate both.
Yeah.
Just let them know that there's no pressure on it. There shouldn't be pressure on it at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my current market as of the last couple of years.
And if I can ask, varying ages.
My demographic is so large. Predominantly 35 to 55 is my main demographic. It does fluctuate out of that from time to time. So,
I did have a question that I did forget. I know, right? Real good. Happens all the time. It's like, I've been doing this podcast now, 3 years? Still this useless.
I was going to say, do you remember your first job?
I do.
And what was that? Were you nervous for that?
I was so nervous.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect. I was still living on the Gold Coast at the time, and I rocked up to a motel, like a beach motel.
Yeah.
For a woman. She must have been like mid-40s.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd been with someone of that age before.
Yeah.
So, and when you're young and you think of sex, you just think of porn.
Yeah.
And so my mentality was so different back then.
Yeah.
That it was very much like a performance. It wasn't like engaging. It wasn't very well communicated. It was like, mistakes were made as far as like reflecting on it.
Yeah.
But at the time, it seemed like she had a great time.
Yep.
And I remember leaving just being like, cool, okay, this is interesting. like, how do I make this better?
Yeah.
Because I want to do more of it.
Yeah.
And you can only do, I can only do 2 clients a day. At max, because I need to pace myself.
Yeah. I was going to ask around stamina and things for the day, so to speak. There's certainly got to be a limit to your powers for the day.
Yeah. There was. I used to get burnt out really badly and see a lot of clients during the day. Yeah. But nowadays my clients book for 3 hours predominantly. So 2 3-hour bookings is more than enough for the day.
The rest is done.
Yeah. I'm cooked.
But also, emotionally, bro, that's going to take its toll.
Yeah.
It's a lot of chat.
Even just listening to obviously what we spoke about today and talking about survivors of DV and SA, bro, that's a heavy burden to carry.
Yeah, that's why the 3 hours is necessary.
100%.
Because it's just talking a little bit.
Yeah.
And then if it progresses, great. If it doesn't, then that's okay too.
Yeah.
No pressure at all.
And then if you hit, let's call too heavier downloading clients for the day, you'd be just heard enough words for one day and just need a little break.
Yeah, that's the point where I like put on the comfy clothes and just put on anime and buy some burgers and just have me time.
Uber the shit out of it.
Yeah,
God,
exactly.
that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Eat some bicep curls.
Yeah, it's a bicep curls, big arms here.
Yeah, it's the big arms.
Yeah,
we train.
He's literally like the camera's probably not doing what it does. Like,
we train curls. We're training arms every day.
Yeah, Johnny's got us on arms every day.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So you make them grow, do them more.
Yeah, more is more in Johnny's.
Yeah, it's a slogan on the gym. Just more.
Literally.
That's all Kendra was saying for like a month.
I got a T-shirt in there that says with her face on it. You ever been in any like work situations where you've gotten uncomfortable and like, man, I need to get out of here? This is Is there an element of danger because you are rocking up to people not known, so to speak?
Yeah, there was one that was kind of interestingly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was a couple I'd never seen before, but rocked up to their place on the sunny coast.
Yeah.
Now, from my experience stripping, you're kind of used to just rocking up to random places, and just doing the strip and then leaving.
Yeah.
This wasn't like a nice hotel; it was just kind of dodgy. They were like, I didn't find them attractive, and at that time, it was quite early in my career that I was trying to regulate my own, I guess, performance. I was trying to regulate my own erection, basically, because I didn't really know how to control it and keep it going. Yeah. Because with couples, you kind of have this fight, flight response when there's a guy around, because you're just subconsciously like, what is happening? Like, where are they? Yeah. Even so, I have to like calm myself down before I have to like get into the zone. Kind of thing. And it's a lot easier for me if the guy kind of joins in, because it's like I don't need to be monitoring over my back.
You know what's going on.
Yeah, but this booking in particular was, this guy was like everywhere. He was like going to have a smoke, coming back, and I was like still trying to like satisfy his wife in a way, but I couldn't get up. So like I could only get like halfway and try my best, but he would come in and just do weird shit, like pat me on the back or like just like
you're doing great, son.
He'd like lean over my shoulder and look at like what's happening down there, and I was like really uncomfortable stuff.
Wow.
Man, can you just?
That's probably worse though. He's going out for a smoke, coming back and going, "Hey, you going down there?" And the smell of the smoke is one of the most off-putting things ever.
It was really uncomfortable. I felt sorry for her because I was like, I'm gonna need my best shot, but I'm gonna have to go with fingers.
We're going back to plan B here.
Yeah, and then it got to the point where like I don't know how much sex I can talk about on here.
You can talk about all of it.
Okay. Like they were a missionary, and she was going down on me.
Yeah.
And then it got kind of like weird where he wasn't too sure how he felt, so he went down on me as well at the same time.
Yeah, right.
This weird dynamic. And I was just like, this is as uncomfortable as it's going to get. I think I can handle it.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure I only had like 10 minutes left, so I was like,
you're starting the clock watch at the moment.
Yeah. And that, like, I can do that because they're all busy. Like, they're not watching me looking at the clock.
You're just like, come on.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, nearly there.
Yeah. So,
it's just like when you got, it's like you get those annoying clients, like, I can leave 5 minutes early. I got 5 minutes realistically.
It could have been like that.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, he was just like, "Oh, thanks for being really cool about it. I love how open-minded you are." And I was like, "Cool, like great. That's a good kind of reflection, I guess." But I think he was more confused at what he wanted rather than what
he didn't know what he wanted to do.
Yeah, and we didn't. Like back then, I didn't have that conversation about expectations, and I kind of just threw myself in the works. That is the wrong thing to do.
Well, that's also how you learn, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, learn your boundaries.
Have you had many, I guess, other people in the industry reach out to you for, like, I guess, help, advice, mentoring?
Yeah, especially recently, as like the influence has gotten a lot bigger, and I've been a lot longer now. There's a lot of guys that are coming in and asking for advice, but it's really, I don't know, I find it really hard to navigate because how they are with me might be very different to how they are with women, and I can't really like.
It's not really something you can blueprint either, is it?
No,
because every person's different.
Yeah, and their client demographic is going to be different, and like what I say might not work at all for them. So I do get a lot of guys asking me for like content advice as well, but I don't really do a lot of collaborations. It's just kind of me.
I think also, like, I guess the framework, now I'm trying to think about it, is just how you are so open with communication. Like, that's probably the best framework you could give someone.
Yeah.
Honestly, because as you said, like everything you do is so individualized.
So yeah, and I have to be very vague sometimes about communication, which is great to a degree. But then I also have to. I'm learning how to be more direct because I've gone too vague for too long.
What's the onboarding process of a new client? Then? Like, so they reach out to you and you discuss, like, obviously expectation stuff. That, like, you know, is it like a new client coming to us? Like, they fill out a form, go through all that sort of stuff, or like, is there something that you meet first before you have your, I guess, official meetup?
Usually just messages. So a lot of social media platforms aren't sex work friendly, which is fine. So I just direct them to my phone number and then have that conversation where I just need to kind of get information of like where they are. Sorry, I'll start with expectations of the experience. Like what type of experience are they after?
Yeah.
Is there certain things you don't dabble in anymore or things you avoid?
Yeah. Like my boundaries are my own for that reason as far as like I don't like being penetrated or abused or stuff like that. So that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I also tell them that at, like in person as well. But all what else don't I really dabble in? I'm just trying to think. Like I think there's a big culture for what they call PNP, which is what is it? It's like party and play. That's the one. So take a lot of drugs and it's very.
I think
that'll be some part of that industry. Some people will be, I imagine, heavily involved in that space.
They make a killing, but I can't risk taking anything because I will get fucked up.
Yeah.
I think that's really really good to hear that you have your own boundaries as well to protect yourself, not just physically but emotionally.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Fucking nice.
Yeah.
But the onboarding process, sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, just text message of expectations, boundaries, and where they are, what duration they're looking for, what dates, and that sort of stuff, just so I can understand. Because I've got to go to Sydney or Melbourne or Adelaide or Perth soon, so just got to figure out where everyone is.
Yeah.
That way, so that's all I really need, and then just kind of build the understanding from there. Get a deposit, get ID, and done.
That's it. Do you build a database?
Yeah, I have my database.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
is it actually like a little black book?
No, it's
didn't think so.
Too obvious.
That screams Male Escorting.
Too big a database.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe Google Sheets.
Not that little black.
Multiple. Absolutely.
That's pretty funny.
Then you can get on the Rhys mailing list and off we go.
That's just social media.
Yeah.
What is your social media?
Rhysensual.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
It's and I mean it's no different for coaching. It's such an exciting part that exists if you use it right, that you can expose yourself to the rest of the world, and you get to meet all these people around the world and create all these business opportunities.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal.
Yeah,
I never thought like it would go this far. And earlier this year, I was like, how do I hit the international market?
Yeah,
like, Australia's great.
Yeah,
but I want to kind of go bigger.
Yeah.
Because I don't really like the stagnant situation. So then Worlds came along and I was like, well, I may as well.
Let's get on it.
How do you spell Rhys?
RHYS.
Oh,
and do you know much about the international industry out there? What it's like?
Vaguely. Like, it's pretty open in the UK and Europe.
Yep.
But the US is very limited.
Yeah.
It's only legal in Nevada, and that's with establishments.
Yeah.
I think there are just certain restrictions around content. That's but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Yeah. And there's also like community issues where people dog people into the border and they get held up. So you really have to be careful.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, here's some nightmare stories of people just having to be in border security for like 16 hours or something, and then get sent home. Yeah,
because they start quizzing you about what you're doing in the country.
Yeah.
Maybe they look you up on social media, and that's where social media maybe could go against you because they look you up and find you.
Yeah.
You're on holidays, are you? What are you really doing?
That's holidays.
Yeah,
it's always a holiday.
It's absolutely a holiday.
Yeah.
I'm just going to see some sights.
But it is still illegal in Adelaide.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so everything has to be done out of state.
Yeah, right.
So you find Adelaide and just fucking hire a car?
I don't know, just Uber everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does the money side of things work?
In regards to transactions?
Yeah, do they transfer you cash, or are you playing cash, or don't want to say?
Deposits are bank transfers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you would keep a tax return essentially for all this.
Yeah.
That's
I pay
unreal.
taxes and
You have
So good.
I have my own company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you run everything through a company.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
clever.
made by a third party, so it doesn't have my name attached to it.
Brilliant.
So people, like, it's just more security for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
protect the assets in the future as well.
Exactly. And
Absolutely.
so everything's taxed.
The asset being
Yeah.
being the asset.
And so I got to go to the gym so much just to keep it.
That means your gym training is tax deductible. Yeah.
Yeah. So all the transactions through the bank account are tax deductible.
Beautiful.
He's like, bro, I'm living.
That's extraordinary.
It's a
Any,
lot of
like, this is a product I like, but any excuse to not pay the ATO money.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you see so you by the sounds of it, you're constantly trying to involve yourself in your business. Like, are you thinking a bit longer term? Like, is there any plans or the concept of international is the next step for yourself as a business?
I think the next step is international and see where I go from there.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Like, there's obviously going to be a roof. Like, there's going to be a limit as to how much I can do. Like, I already know that I can't do a lot of bookings.
Yeah.
There's only one of me.
Yeah.
But I want to see, what are these mythical, international sex parties that happen? Like, what is that like?
Well, what is that
the
like?
high end? Okay, well, I came across an article that talked about very, very high end in London and the US.
Yeah.
And these like corporate sex parties that happen, and I was like, I want to experience one at least.
Yeah.
So if I can get through the right channels, it would be a great experience, not just for me, but also for the business.
Yeah. Is that, we talking like Eyes Wide Shut kind of?
I don't know that movie reference. I'm sorry.
I don't know that reference either, bro.
Oh, it was a Nicole Kidman one.
Okay.
Sorry, bro. We're a bit younger.
I'm thinking like Masquerade style penthouses.
Yeah, that's what that was. Yeah. It was next level. Big fucking room full of people dressed up, big crazy like masquerade mask. And it was
that's awesome.
on.
I've heard stories of whole hotel floors being booked out.
Wow.
For those events.
Yeah,
kind of. Like, I've heard they get really out of hand, but
yeah.
I don't know. Like, to me, they're myths. So I want to go discover that.
And it's like you got to know a guy to get the thing. You get to get the phone number, to get the text, to get the location, that kind of stuff.
On the night kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like Fight Club of sex.
Yeah.
I think you need to watch Eyes Wide Shut.
For really rich people.
Yeah,
that need like absolute discretion.
Yeah. And it'd be like what happens on the 10th floor stays on the 10th floor.
Yeah.
Kind of, I imagine, for the majority of those people.
Yeah, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas situation.
I've literally never heard of this movie, bro.
What? When did it come out?
1999. I was fucking grade 1, bro.
That's probably why.
I was like, he's not that much older either.
Yeah, I was finished grade 12 then.
Nice.
Yeah.
But you're 31. Yeah, so he's only a year older, bro. He was grade 2. I keep forgetting how old he is.
Yeah, wow. Geez, that'd be an adventure.
Yeah.
Any of that stuff going on in here in Australia you know of?
I don't know of it.
Yeah.
If it is. It'd be great, but
I don't think that high end, but there's obviously like sex parties and stuff.
Yeah. No, there's definitely like communities.
Yeah.
Swinging is a huge thing nowadays.
Yeah, that's a popular activity, yeah.
Yeah, with like our generation coming up, they're just gonna like want more.
Do you think that's the influence of porn?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Porn has basically influenced our whole sexuality as a culture.
Yeah, right. In what way have you seen?
I think the biggest influence is the masculine aggression when it comes to sex.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
only because like porn portrays a very possessive nature, but they don't really accommodate all the prerequisites to the scene and then all of the care after the scene as well.
Like the actual communication. Yeah,
exactly. So the 80% of it, where they actually do the scene, or even actually that'll be probably more 20%, because everything to lead up and afterwards is 80%, and then we've been brought up with internet, which just shows like scene after scene after scene, and then like we're conditioned to think that is what sex is, and that's what women want. When in reality, it's not.
It's like, all the stuff before.
They want other things before and after.
Yeah, they do, but in context.
Yeah.
And depending on each person. The other thing is the study they did in rats, where you introduce a rat to a female and measure the endorphin levels, and it's like 100%. But then over time, those endorphin levels go down, with the same rat, then they introduce a new rat, female rat, and then the endorphin levels go back up to 100%. So then growing up with internet and access to so many different videos of different diversity and hormones, where like we can just get just rub one out in like 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden you're ready in another half an hour.
Yeah.
So you're kind of feeding into that mindset that you can just kind of keep going.
Yeah.
Which is also really unhealthy.
Yeah.
Growing up, so
like a lot of the research and information coming out now is porn is bad. Not just for the sense, obviously, it's like whatever like they used to talk about, but it's actually like ruining relationships.
Yeah, because we're so used to just instant satisfaction. There's no long-term gratification to the build-up and the communication and the intimacy as a holistic thing or even an energetic thing. It's just
because intimacy isn't just sex.
No, not at all. But porn is just visual stimulation and then physical stimulation. Also, another cultural difference is people enjoy watching porn while having sex now. It's almost like the connection to their pleasure is having a screen there displaying porn, because they've conditioned themselves so much to get aroused by porn, not so much aroused by the activity.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I've noticed that a lot as well.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Screens are fucking coming in everywhere.
Yeah. Everywhere.
Even in the fucking bedroom now.
Yeah. I mean, imagine like iPad kids in our generation coming up.
Yeah.
Not kids.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I know what you meant. Like this.
Just hang on, sweetie, my iPad.
Literally.
Yeah. Then we'll get into it.
Yeah.
It's not even just watching porn, you just hold it.
Yeah.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah, it is kind of scary, I guess. Yeah. I think hopefully bringing awareness to it will change it.
Yeah.
Change the culture, because then we can identify, where we're going wrong.
Yep.
But do you think it, like, you mentioned bring awareness to it. It's such a taboo topic. How do you bring awareness to it that something is so taboo?
I think this...
obviously having these conversations help.
Yeah, like, I think people are also curious about sex. Like, sex sells, right? It's like the most marketed thing, but it is also very taboo in the public image, because you want to stay well clear of children and people that are triggered by that. But sorry, I lost my train of thought. What was the question?
Talking about how you bring awareness to it.
Oh, right, yeah. I think those that are actually engaging, like, that are sexually active, will be curious about, what is the healthy version of sex and intimacy and one-on-one communication. It's not so much about just the activity. It's not just about penetration. They will kind of, because we put sex on such a pedestal in the adult world. If people are like, if people don't meet that pedestal, they always question themselves, and they're kind of like, okay, how do I get to that pedestal as to what I thought sex would be like? And then they'll kind of go down this whole educational route.
Yeah. There's a lot more education coming up around sex. Like, I listened to a podcast on the Diary of a CEO. Have you guys followed that before? I was trying to think of her name. But he got on this lady who's a sex expert. I'm going to try and find the episode. I can't remember her name, but it was actually quite eye-opening in the sense that there's so much about sex we don't know. And there's so much new research coming out that is actually putting in a really, not a good light, but like or bringing it out of the darkness is probably a better way to put it.
Yeah.
What is the fucking name of that shit?
Actually, people talking about it rather than just behind a closed door.
Yeah. I think people are still very timid as well. Like, there's a huge influx of people with not much confidence around, like, or feel too vulnerable being like naked. Yeah. And that's a big part of
Tracy Cox. Sorry,
Tracy Cox.
Her name's Tracy Cox, C-O-X.
Yeah.
And she's the number one sex expert, apparently. Apparently.
Number one.
Just how to have great sex every time. Shout out, Diary of a CEO.
Yeah. That podcast is better. There we go.
Argument could be made that it is, but we're not going to get into semantics.
Yeah.
I mean,
No. Where it counts.
Do you think would you write a book? I feel like you could write a book about your stories.
I probably could.
Yeah, would you?
I don't know if I would, just because of the level of discretion with clients.
As I said, there must be a level of like they're telling and doing. Except there's some stuff that's going on there that they just don't want leaving that room.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of that.
Would you write it from your perspective, or
It's a good question.
would you write it from a perspective like? Because again, talking to you for I can't fucking read that, but however long it's been, like, you start off in chiropractor, right, and you're still in the service industry, you're still providing a service, and you clearly have a big heart and want to help the people that you meet. So I'm just curious, like, would you write from a perspective of like tools to create better communication for people, like, rather than just, oh, here's my 6 stories?
Yeah, I think you got 2 books.
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of good to just merge them.
Yeah.
Like, give the educational perspective, then add examples.
Or,
Yeah.
you know, you're missing out on the market, just write 2 books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go, man.
Could
Ideas, man, over here.
Have a grow your business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I suck at telling stories.
Yep.
But
You've done pretty good so far, bro.
if I can pitch to someone to like help me tell a story,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
We need to get you a ghostwriter.
Yeah.
That's what they call them.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get you one of those.
It'd be interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Because you could just go down so many routes.
Oh, heaps. There was a period where I first started. I don't know if I want to tell this, but it was like,
Look, if you can tell and then you think about later you wanted to edit out, just let me know.
Okay, all right. There was a period where I first started in the industry, and so like a guy was managing like one of the main faces, one of the main male escorts in Australia, and he came up and was like, "Hey, I want you to be a part of this business. I can see you doing really well." Yeah, like really very much convinced me to like be a part of his company.
Yep.
In doing so, it kind of opened up this whole world to see gay clients.
Yep.
But because I'm straight, like I can't get aroused. Like but I could confidently do massage. So I can give the straight male experience for gay men.
Yep.
And they love that shit. Like they will pay extra just to have the straight. Yeah, it's a whole niche because like some of them think that, you know, straight guys are more masculine. Situation. And also some guys don't want to feel the hypersexualized pressure that a lot of the gay culture has. So that's kind of where I sat in.
Yep.
There was like a solid 3 months of working under this person who would just send me places to do bookings. Like I didn't have communication with clients. I didn't really do anything. I just rocked up and did bookings. That was probably the most traumatic experience because there wasn't any like female clients.
Yeah.
And he had me doing just so many dude clients that like the only affection I was getting for a long period there was just men. And that really fucks with your head a lot.
Yeah.
So throughout that period, he was severely narcissistic. So there was a lot of emotional manipulation and psychological manipulation. I call it my sex trafficking period.
Yep. That'll be the chapter of that book.
Yeah. Where that 3-month period was like probably the most fucked up shit I witnessed. It's like it was sending me to bookings to like top guys, but I couldn't do it. So these guys were expecting to be fucked, but I was just like, I can't really do anything. Like I'm just gonna have to leave or massage or leave, basically.
Take your pick.
Then he would obviously, you know, break you down and be like, you're not good enough, but then I can see you doing this. Like it was a huge roller coaster of emotions. So that was probably one of the most traumatic things about the industry is how there's not enough information about it. So you kind of I fell into a trap that I thought I was like grown out of. You know, like you don't expect it until you're already in that position. Then like I lost so much weight just because of like I had to pay for my travel.
Very confronting, bro.
A
lot of what you would do would be so confronting.
Yeah,
because you are literally, even in the stripping you talked about it briefly before, like, you're vulnerable, you're bearing all.
Completely naked.
Fucking hell, that's going to do a job on you.
Yeah, there was one trip I got sent to Adelaide for a night and had 6 bookings back to back. So it was complete, like a whole 8 hours of just males back to back. I was fucked. I was messed up. So that's the downside to the industry. Once I left that position after all the abuse, of course, because narcissists don't let go of people. Or prey, I call them. After all of that, it took me like 2 weeks to see my lawyer and then set up my own independent, like go back to being independent.
Yeah, gotcha.
That and yeah, and years later I'm back into like the best I've ever been. But I know my boundaries now.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of also what I do, I still see male clients.
Yep.
But it's more kind of taking back my own power in that traumatic experience as well.
Yep.
And knowing my boundaries. So
the most important part of it.
Yeah. So that could be a book all on its own if you really want to get into that 3-month period.
Honestly,
Jeez, we got another book.
You got a series coming out, and like you could retire by the age of 40.
Yeah, you were talking about ceiling before. If you start adding books, there ain't no ceiling, bro.
Ebooks, really good way to start.
Yeah.
Sell your framework.
Yep.
Yeah.
Online course.
Online course, bro. Everyone's doing online course.
Honestly, I reckon that you could potentially do that because again, the way the lessons you've learned, and it's all individualized, but there's definitely a framework there of just communication.
Yeah.
And how you do it. But like, we digress into the business side of your future plans. We're now your managers. We're actually now managers.
Cool. Yeah.
I know you were independent. You were.
You were independent until you came on the show. Now the platform podcast owns you. But as we do,
synergy.
That's a business like that.
Yeah.
Usually when Johnny and I just used to catch up for coffee, if we said synergy, right off. Initially.
Synergy.
But as we wind down, these are the 10 very random questions. Before you start, I just want to say thank you for coming on because you actually shared a lot of light onto an industry that is very taboo and not many people are willing to talk about. Yeah. So thank you, and because it does, I think, show sex workers, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Please, I apologise if I offended you, but it shows in a different light in the work that you do. So thank you very much for coming on and talking about it, bro.
I have one question before the 10.
Okay, he's got one. So we've got 11.
Because you said you had many wild stories and we didn't get any, so I got one.
One wild story.
One just you rock up and it's like, well, I didn't expect that. Or fuck,
probably he's like,
look, that house is sick.
The clients I mentioned earlier about the penthouse. So they flew me up to their place in another part of Australia, which I won't say. And they have a mansion, like an absolute mansion of a place. Like they have a daily gardener and a daily cook and daily cleaner as well. They have a go-kart track around their house.
What the fuck?
And it is on so much property. It's beautiful, like lakes, like 2 giant lakes next to it.
Holy shit!
I can't say.
Oh yeah, I was like, as soon as I asked, I was like, bro, you just spoke about like what an hour of discretion. This idiot asked, where was it?
They are. Like the husband is just such a beautiful man, but like as far as his compassion for his wife, and he's just a big nerd. Like he's just an absolute gamer. So his PC was like $50,000 PC. He bought his own internet tower on his property
to ensure the internet was nice and quick.
Yeah, his ping is insane. The tower I think cost like $250,000 to build, and then like the upkeep is something ridiculous, like $40,000 or something a month or something.
Not a problem.
Yeah, like it's such a hub. Like if there was a zombie apocalypse, I'd want to be there.
That's where you're going.
Yeah, it was such a nice place.
So good.
And chickens everywhere, and the wife's gorgeous. Like they're just such sweet people.
Yeah.
You kind of want to protect them a little bit because they're just kind of like you want to keep them the way they are. And not kind of let the world tarnish them. But yeah, they're just really, really cool people.
That's cool.
They let me drive their brand new Mercedes around the property and stuff. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a fun weekend.
You're like, is this really for you? Am I here for you or me right now? I go around and go, take the Mercedes on the go-kart.
Yeah. Question number 1, Rhys. Are aliens real?
Yeah.
Didn't they just confirm that?
Yeah, there's a Senate inquiry in America at the moment.
Yeah, I was watching it yesterday.
Yeah, I'm quite enjoying the tidbits of that.
YouTube Live.
You're getting right into it. Damn, that's
just
nice.
Like it's the new Johnny.
We can debrief later on that.
Yeah, I had time between clients.
I watched that Jeremy. What's his name? Jeremy Coble and George Knapp.
Yeah,
I got him on Instagram. They get the little bits on it. I think it's great fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't really watched any of it. I'm so sorry. I've just been hearing the snippets of it.
Yeah.
Not like the deep dives that you guys are doing. but I just thought it was confirmed. But
Anyway,
anyway,
show us the fucking photos.
Yeah, already.
Yeah, stop fucking around.
Also,
Show us the green man.
how naive are we? If anyone just thinks aliens weren't real, like how naive are you? What are we, the only
Silly
species?
sausages.
No sausages for dinner, by the way.
I had them for lunch.
Anyway,
Favorite kids TV show that you watched as a kid, obviously, or now.
Or even now.
Now is also welcome.
Yeah, One Piece.
One Piece. What's
One
that?
Piece. Anime.
anime.
Yeah.
Nice. If you're about to start a podcast, who are you going to have on as your first guest?
I'd probably put Mayhem on.
Yes.
Marin Mayhem can talk.
Yeah, she can. She's been here with us.
Oh yeah,
She's got the Mayhem experience.
Yeah, she's an absolute delight, and just give her something to talk about. She can.
Yeah, she's one of those guests that
You wouldn't even need to give her
anything.
anything. She'd just start.
Exactly. Yeah, it could be random, but yeah, first guest would have to be her, just because she's just a go-getter.
Absolutely. Favorite memories of school?
Playing regionals for soccer.
Oh, that's cool.
And winning awards for my school.
Oh, that's cool. Number one YouTube channel you are subscribed to?
Oh, shit.
Aside from us and
This
our personal.
is really getting personal.
Mm.
It's probably the aliens one at the moment.
No, recently I've been getting into an RTS game called Bar Beyond All Reason. And so I've been watching a lot of professional players come from
What's RTS?
real-time strategy. So like Age of Empires is a great example of that. So yeah, it's like my happy time to just watch that.
Just watch other guys playing.
Yeah.
Else and see how they do it.
Yeah, it's really hard to kind of get into if you're starting out.
Yep.
But watching how people can like coordinate so much at once blows my mind. So yeah, that's my current
sick
kills.
Any goals, or what's your big goal for the near future?
Sell out my Europe tour coming into Worlds.
Yeah.
So it's going to sneak up really quickly.
It's coming soon.
Yeah, and I got to figure out my spreadsheet. I only sorted my dates out yesterday to see where I'm going to go. So it's like UK for a week and then the rest of Europe for a week and come back. So
come back home.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
Damn, that'll be booked out quick sticks.
Yeah. It already looks pretty overwhelming. And just a lot of travel. So
travel's the worst part of traveling.
Yeah, exactly.
Teleports. Would be sick.
Yes. Oh my god.
I don't want to be the first one or the second one through it, but I'm willing to be number 10 to go in.
Number 10. Okay.
Then let's fucking go. Let's just put a year into teleports. You know what I mean?
Yeah, aliens.
1 year.
I'm pretty sure Zuck's and what's the other guy? Elon's on it or something.
Yeah, we'll just park everything else and just do teleports.
Yeah, fuck the what is it, multiverse, whatever the Fediverse is. Just bang on with teleports for Johnny, please.
Yeah. I'd like a teleport.
I actually really want to watch them fight.
What animal do you want to eat next?
What do I want to eat next? I've never thought about it. I eat a lot of chicken, so I guess I would
You'd like
probably
another
eat
chicken?
Yeah.
Chicken next? Nice. What are you saving for? Your piggy bank? Your pocket monies?
Motorbike.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'm just short now. And
What, do you have a particular one in mind?
so I'm still on my L's.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a CMX 500, which is just a nice little cruiser.
Yep. You part of the FB bike club. Park next to Sills.
Yeah, and Jay.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a little bike too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got his. That's why I have to get mine.
Do you have a bike license?
I had learners.
Yeah, right.
And then I didn't get one.
I feel like you should one.
I would love one, but then not to say that it definitely won't happen to you, but the day before I was going to book in to do a test, I saw a dude get killed on one. And then I decided that I didn't want one anymore.
Fair enough.
His head went down the road.
Oh,
wow.
I didn't see that part, thankfully.
Okay.
I would never be able to undo that, but I was told what happened when I saw the police cars.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want that.
that's fine.
It's a bit more, but that won't happen to you. You'll be fine.
No.
Um,
I'm too safe.
So someone gives you a billboard for free, just for one day. What are you putting on it?
His eyes. Oh, I thought you were asking him. Sorry.
I'm putting that with epiccoaching.com.au under it, and just
And watch my business blow up.
Yeah.
They'll be like, what? I don't know what this service is,
Yeah.
what Epic Coaching is, but I will buy it.
I couldn't put any business stuff up there just because
Yeah, you
of
couldn't.
the publicity.
Well, you have to put something else up then.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to throw a different business up. Actually, I'm just gonna have to throw Fortitude on
Yeah,
there.
baby.
Make him number one, bro.
Like, because that's all I really do. I just work, and then I go to Fortitude, and then I go home and eat and play games or watch YouTube.
Sounds really like
So good.
you know, from one really good environment to another really good environment, back to your environment.
It's perfect.
Beautiful.
That's the lifestyle.
It's amazing.
Family tradition?
Christmas breakfast.
Love it.
Yeah, we do it every year.
Particular breakfast? Is there the same items that are consumed on that Christmas day?
Only recently we changed locations. We used to go to the Marriott every breakfast.
Oh,
so
nice.
right at 6 a.m. before like anyone walks up.
Yeah,
Just to get first in.
Yeah.
That's all we can eat.
Mash it. I love it. That's 10 of them.
That's 10.
That's
So we did a bit of break in between chatting about other things.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's fuck. We go on some weird tangents. But anyway, we need tinfoil hats.
I'm not against it. Like, if it's going to take me from something, I'll wear it.
I literally didn't think you would be. Man, thank you so much to the Singapore for coming on. It's been a very, very good hour. I don't know if we can. Like, we can promote you. We can put your Instagram in the show notes. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. We'll definitely tag you. Again, thank you so much for coming on, just chatting. Like, it's so interesting. Like, it's a whole different world. Obviously, I've got no experience in that realm or even understanding, but I feel like I can walk away a bit more aware, but a bit more open-minded about it.
Thanks. Yeah, that's perfect because awareness counts everywhere. So
you can't be throwing the word perfect around when you look like that. Come on, Jesus Christ,
that's perfect.